Well, President Trump says the ceasefire with Iran is over after the two sides exchanged a new round of strikes. The U.S. hit dozens of targets inside Iran after Iran attacked ships in the Strait of Hormuz. And this all comes with President Trump at the NATO summit of America's allies in Turkey. So joining us now to talk through all of this is JJ Green, national security correspondent with our news partner, WTOP. JJ, always good to have you with us here on our 2 and 3 o'clock shows.
Yeah, Megan, it's always good to see you.
You too. And first, let's just go through this. So the ceasefire over. President saying essentially Iran can talk, but it won't matter, and we may attack again. What do you expect to come next in all this, JJ? Another flare-up or something more long-term?
Yeah, no, I think what we'll see more of is what we saw yesterday and the day before. And frankly, the day before, we heard a lot of emotion. We heard a lot of anger, revenge. We've seen distractions. We've seen a lot of the U.S. and Iran talking at each other, but not to each other, really. I mean, I know the U.S. has these negotiators, and so does Iran, but what's really happening is leverage. They're both trying to use their leverage. Iran trying to block off the Strait of Hormuz, and it's shooting at ships that won't cooperate with its plan. And the U.S., of course, angry that the Strait of Hormuz is blocked, and it's shooting at Iran. So what we have here is the two sides not talking to each other. So moving forward, there really is going to have to be a scenario where either the people change that are involved in this process, or the people involved in the process change their hearts and their minds, because otherwise it's probably going to be more of this.
And, you know, JJ, you and I have talked about the impacts to other countries in the region, the U.S. military in the region, civilians. But here at home, the biggest impacts people are seeing are the gas prices. And now that this has happened, you bring up the strait there. What is the latest with the Strait of Hormuz and traffic moving through the strait?
Well, again, it's in jeopardy. And as we have seen in the last few hours or so, there's a strong possibility that it's going to shut down completely again, because President Trump said a bit earlier today the U.S. is going to go hard again at Iran today, which means tonight there, which is what it is there. So no ship company or ship captain is going to risk going into that. They recognize that this is a non-starter to try to go through the strait at this point, because they realize that they will most likely be sitting ducks. Whether intentionally or not, they could get hit being in the strait. So basically, all bets are off. It's shut down again.
And politically with that, we know Republicans looking ahead to midterms. The strait needs to allow normal traffic for oil prices to drop, and just even positive signals to investors, obviously. But, you know, how can the U.S. accomplish that at this point tangibly?
Well, I think there are three things that can happen. And when you say tangibly, the U.S. and Iran are going to have to recognize that neither one of them has the upper hand at this point. The U.S. has a bigger military, but Iran has a very effective economic weapon. And both of them have been blasting out the noise using their megaphones in what I call always the noise war. And it confuses a lot of people. So what really I think is going to happen, number one, is the two sides are going to have to recognize they are going to have to come together and to do some real serious discussions about ending this. Number two, the U.S. is going to have to set aside the nuclear situation for a minute and get back to opening up the strait, keeping it open, and dealing with that. And Iran is most likely going to have to recognize, number three, if they don't do this, they're going to lose more people, they're going to likely lose more leaders, and they're going to get set back even further. Their entire military, at least if you believe President Trump, has been destroyed. And no national security means no personal security for anybody in Iran or any other country. So in order to get back up on their feet and do the right thing for the people in Iran, they're going to have to come to the table, set aside their anger, their pride, and all of the things that have kept them shooting at ships, and just get back to the business of trying to end this war. Those, I think, are the three key things.
A three-point plan right there. WTOP National Security Correspondent JJ Green, thank you so much for taking the time to share some insight as we look ahead to what we could be watching for next on this.
Megan, it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you.
You too. JJ, thank you. Well, new